Time to break down the Browns' win with Reggie Rucker. Reggie's here today. What do you think?
There's a win.
Yes.
A win is a win is a win. Do you believe that?
I believe that.
Well, how come why aren't people jumping up and down and dancing in the streets?
Well, that's what you're here to tell us. Why aren't they dancing?
Why aren't they?
Because I think they watched the second half of that game today.
As we used to say in the neighborhood, it was ugly.
Yeah.
That's worse than ugly. And it's better to be, I said this before, and I'll say it again, and I say this a lot when I'm playing golf, it's always better to be lucky than good. And certainly when you have a 20-year veteran, almost good as gold kicker, and John Casey lining up from 42 yards out, you expect to lose a football game. The Browns didn't because the football gods were with them today. And that, I think, is because, you know, this football team has lost some games that have been ugly, and it's painful for the fan base. And finally, you get a football game in which you're looking to lose. You know you're going to lose it, and wow, the guy hits the uprights, and the Cleveland Browns win a football game, and everybody goes, yeah. Because, you know, some real stuff could have happened if they'd lost that game, some real ugly stuff.
Well, you say some real ugly stuff could happen if that happened, but the game is a game, Reggie, and let's be honest. You get into the fourth quarter, and I even said to a couple players after the game, I said, when you see, Goodson running through the middle of the defense, that was very reminiscent of what we watched last week. And if I'm saying, did they take a step forward, it's hard for me to say that right now. They won a game, but did they make a step forward from last week where they gave up a lead late?
No, there's something going on here that I can't explain defensively. I mean, I'd love to be able to get in there and see what we call the end zone angles and see techniques and things like that. But I can tell you this. I'm confused by some of the strategic calls that are being made by this coaching staff late in games. And this is not only from the defensive standpoint, but from the offensive standpoint. The Cleveland Browns management put themselves in positions that I think were really contrary to some of the calls which I think I would have done given the same circumstances. And not only defensively, because we've seen the poor tackling before, and it seems to pop up at the most inopportune time, late in games. Now, why is that happening? Are these players fatigued? Have they played too many snaps? Is it lack of depth? But it always goes back to the one thing defensively that has hurt this football team since this coaching staff has been here, tackling.
You know, when you watch it from the press box or you watch it at home, you think it's so easy to say, well, it's this. Why go for it on 4th and 1? Why tackle? You've been on both sides of it. But what's the reality of it? I mean, when you're a fan sitting at home, you're like, they should be tackling. Jake Delhomme should be a better quarterback and all those things. But when you're a player and you're inside that locker room or you're the head coach, what is the reality of what's going on?
Well, the reality of what's going on is that the players expect the coaches to give them the best opportunity to win. That means making the right decisions. Now, let's take 4th and 1. Browns up by 1 point against a bad football team with a rookie quarterback who isn't playing well. I would have kicked that field goal. That puts me up by 4 points against a team that defensively I should eat up in the 4th quarter. Jimmy Clausen, once again, I said this last time we saw a rookie quarterback, and Mark Sanchez for the Jets. But I still like Colt McCoy after having seen Jimmy Clausen. Give me Colt every day. That guy does not threaten me. So if I'm the Cleveland Browns defensively, I want to face him with a 4-point lead. I would not have gone for it on 4th and 1. Cleveland Browns didn't pick up that first down.
Brian Robisky, 7 catches, 50 yards. Many people in Cleveland are excelling. They're saying, wow, he can play. He can make catches. You're a receiver. You're out in the field. If you see 7 catches, 50 yards, Reggie Rucker, how do you feel?
No, you're not going to see 7 catches from me for 50 yards because that's not playmaking. And unfortunately, in this case, I don't know what is going on inside that offensive room where they're coordinating and game planning, but you've got to get this receiver up the field. You've got to get this receiver making moves and making bigger plays. 7 catches for 50 yards. I understand that there was a huge press conference following the game at his locker. This puzzles me also because Brian Robisky should be producing more than this, and I'm not certain He showed us, let's say that he showed us that he can catch the football. We know he can catch the football. Either they're not giving him the opportunity to display the talent, or he's not being incorporated, or he's not being thrown to enough or targeted enough by the quarterbacks to be the player that he should be.